In today's video, I'm going to be talking all about competitor conquest campaigns. And essentially what those campaigns are is just bidding on competitor specific keywords. And you might have wondered if you've seen this before, is this even legal? Does it violate any policies? And does it even make sense to do? And in this video, I'm going to show you some live examples as well as share with you some secret strategies and how to best leverage competitor conquest campaigns to your advantage. So please stay tuned until the very end, and I'm going to share everything that I can in order for you to have a successful competitor conquest campaign. All right, so this is actually a live example that I just pulled of Honda Civic getting conquested by Hyundai. So basically the idea is if someone was looking for a Honda Civic, Hyundai would then conquest and bid on the Honda Civic term in order to make their ads appear when someone's considering a Honda Civic. This is a classic example of a competitor conquest campaign. I worked in automotive, specifically on the Toyota account, managing their Google Ads for the national campaign for a few years. So I'm all too familiar with this strategy, and it happens a lot in this space. And to answer the first question that I brought up is this even legal? It is legal. It does not violate any policies. What we're seeing right here with Hyundai conquesting. And does it make sense to do? It absolutely makes sense to do because this is a way to create consideration when someone is considering another brand. So basically trying to get someone to switch when they may have been considering a specific brand, getting them to move over and consider your brand, comparing and potentially trying to sway them on the offer that you have. So that's that. And in terms of any violations of policies, the only thing that you cannot do when it comes to competitor conquest campaigns in the ad is you cannot call out your competitor names. As long as those competitor names are trademarked, then those ads that if you try to use their names in your ads would get disapproved. But you can bid on your competitor brand names. That's completely fine by policies. It's not illegal. I get a lot of clients concerned that about this, like, is it okay to go after my competitors' names and bid on them? It's absolutely okay. In fact, Google encourages competitor conquesting because they end up making more money when you conquest because you're paying a premium fee to appear for a competitor name. So what Hyundai is doing in this example is they're bidding on Honda Civic. They're paying a premium in order to appear for Honda Civic. And yeah, it's a big premium, but if they're willing to do that to get someone to consider their vehicle that's comparable to the Honda Civic, then why not? And if they have the budget, why not? So that's that for violations. Now let's talk about the specific best approach from a keyword perspective. Now, when you're doing a competitor campaign, the best way to go about it, and I have some bullet point examples that I have here, is to go after your competitor name in exact match or their specific, product in exact match. However, one thing to note with this approach is you might be attracting already existing customers from this brand. So they might be looking for support. They might be looking for something like to log in to that portal of this specific customer. So going after exact match competitor names can be effective, but you also have to note that once you start accruing leads, you might be getting people that are looking for the competitor because they're already an existing customer. And while it's not a bad idea to try to get an existing customer over to your landing page to get them to consider you, there's a very high chance that they might not actually be as interested because they were looking to either log in or contact the competitor. But I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I just want you to be aware, if this is an approach that you want to take, that it could be a little bit more challenging to convince these people. But the other examples that I have here are more telling to show that people are not necessarily married to a specific brand, and they're still in that consideration phase of the decision-making funnel. So let's go through the rest of the bullet points here. So another approach is competitor name versus. So in this example, we can go after keywords like Honda Civic versus Hyundai Elantra. That would be a good approach from a keyword perspective. Another one could be compare Honda Civic to Hyundai Elantra. Another one could be Honda Civic alternative. Another one could be, well, this one wouldn't necessarily make sense for automotive, but in the SaaS or software as a solution space, if someone, let's say, wanted to cancel QuickBooks and move over to Xero, another bookkeeping software, they could bid on cancel QuickBooks and then you can, if Xero wanted to swoop in and steal that traffic, they can certainly have an ad that says consider switching to Xero if someone types in cancel my QuickBooks account, because we already know that someone's looking to cancel. So where are they looking to switch next? The next one is switch. So switch to, let's say, switch to or switch from QuickBooks. If you were Xero, the accounting software, you're trying to get QuickBooks, you can try to say something like switch from QuickBooks or switch to Xero. But that actually would be more of a brand campaign if you wanted to go from that perspective. But switch from QuickBooks would be a good approach. So these are the typical keywords that I would go after. Of course, it's also going to depend on the industry that you're in. For like service-based, you probably won't necessarily, if you're like a local service, you might not, it wouldn't make sense to do cancel or switch, but maybe versus, maybe compare, maybe alternative, maybe even just going after the competitor name. It's worth a test. Typically these keywords, the last bullet points on this list are going to be cheaper than just going after just that competitor name and exact match, but that's also going to just depend on the competitive nature of the industry that you're in and who is bidding on those terms. All right. So now you have an idea from a keyword perspective what types of keywords that you can leverage to get the best results from your competitor conquest campaigns. Something else to note too is when you're running a competitor conquest campaign, you want to set it up at the campaign level. So you have budget control at the campaign level. I've seen this mistake happen in so many different accounts that I've audited where clients will try to set up their campaign or try to set up a competitor approach, but then they're setting the competitor approach up as an ad group. And while it is okay to still do that, I would highly recommend to set it up as a campaign so you can control how much budget is going to the competitor campaign, because it can get very, very, very expensive. Which leads me to my next point here. So your budget. So speaking about the budget, competitor cost per clicks, I did mention this a little bit earlier in this video. Your competitor cost per clicks will be more expensive than your brand terms. There's no way to go around this because you do not own your competitor brand. So therefore your quality score or relevancy will be lower, and therefore you will be paying a more premium price. So if you don't have the budget to be testing out competitor conquesting, then you might want to stay out of this lane until you do. But if you do have some extra budget to test to see how competitor traffic converts for you, then this is something to definitely consider. Now let's talk about ads, because you can't just set up a competitor campaign and set up the keywords that I suggested and then pray that the rest will just fall into place. You have to have really compelling ads. Your offer must be clear. It must be equal to or better to what the competitor is offering, and your copy must stand out. So going back to this example here, what Elantra does in terms of trying to get my attention is they have Elantra all in capitalization. And I think that this is probably something to do with the way that they've branded it, or else Google would not have allowed them to capitalize every single letter. That's actually against the policy. But I think that they probably were able to bypass it because this is maybe part of the specific brand name. But in terms of the offer, it's not really giving me like a super unique offer, but it's just telling me consider a new Hyundai Elantra. The sedan is back with and part of it is being blocked out. Flexibility in your hands with class exclusive available Hyundai digital key. Learn more. Okay. But I'm not really getting a compelling offer here. I mean, it's just saying like, okay, you can click to buy, you can request a quote. So I would say that this is like comparable to what Honda would do in terms of their offer. I'd have to see. Let's see. Actually, Honda, Tier 1 Honda National is not actually advertising. It looks like these are more like local regional dealerships. But I'm not seeing like Honda National advertising on their own name, which is not good. But yeah, I guess going back to this here, is Hyundai doing a great job on ads? I think it's doing a decent job in terms of getting my attention with the all caps, but in terms of the offer, it's on par with what I would expect to see from Honda. But if they're running some type of sales event or some type of promotion, that has to be listed here to try to swoop in and steal the traffic that would typically be looking for Honda Civic. Okay, so now I want to talk about the landing page. Highly recommend, instead of just driving this competitor traffic to your homepage or to your typical landing page that you would use for your non-brand prospecting campaigns, is to create a comparison page showing side-by-side features. So by doing this, you allow your potential customers or your traffic to compare the features side by side so that they can see why the Hyundai Elantra is better than the Honda Civic. And then, of course, tailoring your landing page to the specific search, and also just make it easy for people to contact you. The last thing that you want after spending a premium on a competitor keywords is to make it hard to contact you. So you need to make it super easy to contact you, and it's pretty obvious, but I think a lot of people that run pay-per-click campaigns don't realize this. So by clicking here, it would drive a user to a page that would compare the Hyundai Elantra versus the Honda Civic. Now, I want to show you another example here of doing a quick search for SEMrush, which is a SaaS software in the PPC space. And if you've done PPC for a while, you've probably heard of them because they're really good for competitive research, for keyword research, for ad spying, and so forth. But essentially, when I type in SEMrush does a really great job at their brand protection. And then next, I see a funny, witty, conquest campaign coming from SpyFu and then SimilarWeb. SpyFu is really simple. They're just asking, "Are you kidding?" And it's only $39 a month. So I think they're just trying to be a little bit cheeky and funny here. Unlimited data, unlimited projects, but then it's not really telling me what they do and why they're better than SEMrush. So, well, maybe with the unlimited data, unlimited projects, and so forth, and 30-day, I guess, but it's kind of getting buried here. So they were sacrificing the main point that they were trying to get by putting the most important information in the description that was getting cut off, instead of just trying to, put it up here into the headline, which I think would be a lot more compelling versus trying to be a little bit funny. But it did get my attention, which is important. But maybe there is a way to marry the two so that you can get my attention and tell me why you're better than SEMrush. Next is SimilarWeb. I think SimilarWeb does a really great job here. Try SimilarWeb for free. they have a better offer, it seems like. So you can try it for free. SEMrush, it says something about free, but it doesn't tell me what their offer is. So Similar Web is already giving me some type of free offer. It's telling me it's an SEO game changer. Okay, that's interesting. I'm going to click on it, and now it's going to take me to this landing page. So this landing page, it does a great job in like a comparison. So why choose Similar Web over SEMrush? Basically, it's calling them out. Now, again, using the competitor brand name in your copy is against the policies, but in terms of using it on your landing page, proceed with caution, because if they are trademarked, then you might get in trouble like legally, but I don't know. So you probably want to consult with a lawyer before taking your competitor's name and just dropping it on your landing page. But they do a good job in pretty much saying what they have over SEMrush and why they're better. And they have a really good offer, which is try it for free. So why not? I'm going to try it. So that's pretty much it for competitor conquest campaigns. If you have any questions about it, please go ahead and drop them below. I would love if you can give this video a like, comment, and please subscribe to this channel if you found this content helpful. I'd love to create more content like this for you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you.